Picture this. It's the summer of 1999. Every kid is either inside playing on their game consoles around the time of the N64 and PlayStation 1's peak, or they're outside playing hopscotch, swimming at a lake, roller skating, or doing the raddest thing of them all, skateboarding. If you were a kid who knew how to skateboard, you were one of the coolest kids in the neighborhood. And if you didn't know how to skateboard, don't worry, you were in luck. Because Activision and Neversoft were about to team up with one of the most influential skateboarders of our time and make a legacy of video games, Tony Hawk. I want to talk about the Tony Hawk games, if I haven't made that apparent yet. It's getting warmer around here in Canada, and I think right now would be the perfect time to take out a skateboard and go for a ride. But I don't know how to skateboard at all, so playing the video games is the next best thing. There are 10 main games in the series, and I plan to review them all in this marathon. So put on your helmets while we enjoy the raddest game series of all time, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Right now is where I would talk about the story to the game, but this game has no story. It's just good old gameplay and fun, with no prior reason for doing what you're doing. The game just asks you to choose your mode, character, skateboard, and level. When I say different game modes, I mean between 1 player and 2 players. I will talk about the multiplayer a bit later in the review though. For characters, you have the choice between famous skateboarders to play as like Tony Hawk, Bob Burnquist, Chad Muska, and much more. When you select your skateboard, you have the choice to change the design on the bottom of your board, and every skater has different designs to choose from. You can change whether your truck is tight, medium, or loose to change your turning stat, and change the color of your wheels. Finally, the level select. You only have the choice for the warehouse at first, but you can go to a school, a mall, or the streets of San Francisco, just to name a few after you complete a certain amount of objectives. To clarify, while the game is loading up the level, it will give you objectives to complete. Usually there's about 5 to do per level. It can range from doing tricks to earn a high score, finding a secret VHS tape somewhere in the level, or doing something specific per level, such as in the warehouse, you have to destroy 5 piles of boxes. When completing these objectives, you will earn yourself a VHS tape, and when you earn a certain number of them, you will unlock more levels and more skateboards. As you unlock more skateboards, your stats will increase as well. Now the thing is, you only have 2 minutes to complete all of these objectives, but don't worry, because the game will allow you to replay levels and the objectives you have already done will be crossed out. I actually remember playing this game when I was younger thinking that you had to choose the final skateboard you unlocked for the best stats, but that's not the case at all. As your stats increase, all of your skateboards have the same stats. So if you don't like the design on the final board, that's fine. You can choose another one that is more aesthetically pleasing to you, and I think that is a brilliant idea. Another thing that you can do is enter competitions and earn gold, silver, or bronze medals. The competitions work a bit differently though. Basically, you have 3 1-minute runs called heats in each competition. In the heat, you are only worrying about getting the highest score possible. Judges will rank you at the end of your heat, and you will lose points for every time your skater falls. All of the points will add up per heat, and the total will be tallied at the end of the 3rd heat. Where you place in this total will be what medal you get. Earning all of the tapes in every level is how you beat this game. Not difficult at all, right? Well, the thing is that when you do this, your reward is a character named Officer Dick. That's it. He's not even a better skater or anything. This is just a joke character, and honestly, the bragging rights of saying you got every tape with one skater is a better reward than this fool. One good thing you can unlock, however, is that if you get gold in all 3 competitions, you unlock kind of a blooper reel and a bunch of skaters bailing and falling over, and it's just a good laugh, and a nice way to relax after earning gold in all those competitions. If you earn all the tapes and get gold in every competition with every character, you unlock a bonus video of the Neversoft staff trying to skateboard and just not doing a good job at all. This is your only reward for getting 100% in this game. Listen to me, it's not worth it. Finally, depending on which skater you beat the career with, you will unlock a professional video of them skating, and honestly, it's pretty cool to watch. I understand why they did this though. They wanted to make sure that people got their money's worth when they bought this game. If you play the single player mode with only one character, you can beat the game in one sitting, and thus everyone would think the game is too short. So, the way that they remedied that is through repetition and tediousness, instead of making the game difficult or having a long story. At the time as well, this was the first game in the series. Activision, Neversoft, and Tony Hawk had no idea how well this game was going to do. So they needed to make sure that whoever bought it would be able to enjoy it as much as they could. What I find funny is that Tony Hawk refused a one-time buyout for the use of his name and instead took on a royalty deal to earn a percentage of every copy sold. And thus, because of the series' eventual success, he'd go on to earn more than the one-time offer within 2 years. This man believed in this game and knew it would do well and made the smart choice, although a bit risky, and honestly, I have to give the man respect for that. Now, the actual gameplay. It's very simple. You hold down X to make your character crouch and gain speed, and then let go of X whenever you want to jump or, in skating terms, perform an ollie. While in the air, you can hold a direction and hit square for flipping your skateboard, or circle for grabbing it. Thing is, to get points, you must land your tricks facing forward or backward. This will help keep your momentum, which will give you more airtime, which will allow you to do more tricks and therefore more points. You cannot land a trick sideways or you will fall and ruin your combo, which will also lessen your time because it is needed to recover. Another thing your skater can do is grind on a railing or edges with triangle, and while grinding you can tilt left and right with your left analog stick or the directional buttons to keep your balance. With triangle, your skater can also perform wall rides that don't earn any points, but is a great way to reach higher places. And finally, if you go off of a ramp and hit triangle right at the peak, your skater will do a trick called a hand plant. Oh, also, every character has a special move that is unique to them, such as Tony Hawk doing his signature 900 spin, which I can never seem to land. Some of these moves take a lot of trial and error to find though, because the game does not come with a move list. I mean, nowadays, yeah, you can just look up the move list, but back in the 90s, we didn't have that luxury and had to try every different combination of moves. Thankfully, it was only ever 2 directions and a button, such as the 900 being... It would have been too easy if I just gave it to you. Oh yeah, we also have multiplayer to talk about. It's only up to 2 players, and you have a selection of 3 games to play with your buddy. They are Graffiti, Trick Attack, and Horse. Graffiti is a mode where player 1 is blue and player 2 is red, and each player must perform tricks to turn whatever they land on into their color. Thing is, if the other player performs a better combo, they can steal it. Person with the most objects being their color by the end of the time limit is the winner. Trick Attack has both players performing tricks to earn points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the time limit is the winner. Horse has player 1 go first and perform a single combo. Then player 2 has to try and beat it. If player 2 succeeds, it goes back and forth until one of the players fail. Each time a player fails, they earn a letter that spells out horse, and whoever spells horse first is the loser. One thing about the multiplayer that I'm not a huge fan of is that you have to beat the single player with the skater that you like to unlock all of their stats and different boards. So, if you wanted to try the multiplayer right away when the game came out, all of the skaters would have sucked until you played the single player first. Another thing is that the levels wouldn't be unlocked either. So yes, multiplayer is available upon release, but it's almost like you have to unlock the fun that comes with the multiplayer. The graphics for this game are pretty good for the environments, like I can tell this is a warehouse, I can tell this is a school, but oh man, these character models look bad. I mean, is that a human? Or is that some sort of weird mannequin? I honestly can't tell. The animation isn't horrible though, like you could tell what tricks they're doing at the time, but one animation that always makes me giggle is this one. The music, well, I don't like it very much. I mean, they're real songs by real bands, so I can't play any of them for you, but most of the time, I muted the TV and played my own music. The only song I genuinely really loved was Superman by Goldfinger. Give it a listen if you like ska. In conclusion, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a fun game, but only when you play through it like once. And then maybe once again just to try out Officer Dick. The multiplayer is alright, but overall kind of limited. All the skaters have the same moveset except for their personal special moves. Plus, beating the game with every skater is very tedious and boring. I honestly don't think this game is worth it. However, everyone has to start somewhere, right? So what I'd love to see in the sequel are a few more skaters with their own personal moveset so every skater feels unique. Having the levels unlocked right away from multiplayer and all of the skaters at their max stats. More original music, more special moves than just one or two. Finally, a better reward for 100%ing the game. Let's see if what I hoped for comes true when we return to this marathon with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, whenever you're watching, and as always, take care.